this be one of the best moments of your life. You're listening to the Business Mirror Podcast for a broader look on business with Senior Editor Dennis Estopase.
Good day. Welcome to Business Mondays with BM, a segment of the Business Mirror BM Broader Look podcast that tackles the performance of the Philippine stock market. The Business Mondays with BM podcast is based on the stock market outlook story written by Business Mirror reporter VG Kabuag and comes out every Monday. Today we podcast week 18 of the stock market outlook for April 26 to April 30, 2021. For the text version online, please go to the Business Mirror website and search for Stock Market Outlook. For the print edition, please go to the company section of the Business Mirror newspaper. Let's get on with the story. Last week, share prices continued on a downward trend as investors were too cautious ahead of the announcement of the corporate's first quarter financial reports in the coming weeks. The benchmark Philippine Stock Exchange Index fell 116.74 points to close at 6,378.07 points. The main index was down for most of the week except Tuesday when it made small gains. The average daily value of trade for the week was still thin at 5.15 billion pesos as against the average of 9 billion pesos for the year. Foreign investors, which made up 41% of the total trades, were still net sellers at 4.4 billion pesos. All other sub-indices ended on the red, with the exception of the industrial index, which climbed 13.29 points to close at 8,620.77 points. The broader all shares index slid 54.32 to close at 3,927.19. The financials index inched lower by 9.30 to close at 1,384.02. The holding firms index declined 168.33 to close at 6,448.55. The property index retreated 90.80 to close at 3,108.51. The services index slid 6.12 to close at 1,435.99. And the mining and oil index lost 243.48 to close at 8,727.77. Losers outnumbered gainers 141 to 87 and 18 shares were unchanged. The top gainers for the week were Manila Mining Corporation A, Boulevard Holdings Incorporated, Atlas Consolidated Mining and Development Corporation, United Paragon Mining Corporation, Synergy Grid and Development Philippines Incorporated, and Assisite Philippines Hotel Corporation. The top losers, on the other hand, were Metro Alliance Holdings and Equities Corporation B shares, National Reinsurance Corporation of the Philippines, GMA Network Incorporated, Ace Enexor Incorporated, and Global Ferronickel Holdings Incorporated. This week, share prices may continue to decline, but analysts said investors are just waiting for the right impetus to start coming into the market. Broker 2Trade Asia said the recent slide was accompanied by markedly thin participation, especially on the local side, which may imply that amid uncertainties on the ground, some confidence on the second half recovery story is brewing, prompting players to hold. Broker 2Trade Asia said a break below 6,300 points for the main index would beam a revisit to the 6,000 level. Jafet Luis Tanchanco, Senior Research Analyst at PhilStocks Financials Incorporated, said investors are expected to look towards the government's decision on the quarantine measures of the country after April 30. Tanchanco said a decision to extend the modified enhanced community quarantine in the National Capital Region Plus, or hints that would point to such, are seen to generate negative sentiment in the market. This is because the extension of the modified enhanced community quarantine in the NCR Plus area is seen to lead to more economic losses that will weigh on recovery prospects, Tanchanco said. The government has placed Metro Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, and Rizal under the less restrictive Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine from April 12 to April 30. The Philippine economy is estimated to lose around 120 billion pesos during the 3-week Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said last Friday. Secretary Lopez has said that the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine allowed 30% average improvement in jobs and firms operating compared during the more restrictive Enhanced Community Quarantine. The forecast is lower than the estimated loss of 180 billion pesos or 1% of the Philippines' gross domestic product during the 2-week Enhanced Community Quarantine on March 29 to April 11. The National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA has said that the Enhanced Community Quarantine dented the economy by 39.2 billion pesos in income and wages. The period of the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine that began April 12 meanwhile may spell additional losses of 14.7 billion pesos according to NEDA estimates. This week, investors are expected to look towards the first quarter corporate earnings reports for clues on how companies are faring amid the lingering challenges brought by the national and health crisis. During the week, the Aboitiz Group, Manila Electric Company, and Wilcon Depot Incorporated would file their reports. Tanchanco said that the 10-day exponential moving average is proving to be a strong dynamic resistance so far, with the local market having a difficult time getting past through it. Meanwhile, a minor immediate support is seen at the 6,370 to 6,400 range, Tanchanco said. Tanchanco said the next support is at 6,100. For the stock picks, broker Regina Capital and Development Corporation advised investors to position on the stock of BDO Unibank Incorporated as it recorded a significant price loss last week. Indicators are hinting at bearish movement in the next few days, which is definitely warranted after 5 straight days of rally, Regina Capital said. The broker added this could further fuel selling pressure and push BDO closer to its support at 101 pesos. Nonetheless, it doesn't look like there is enough momentum or volatility to push BDO below the psychological 100 peso barrier, Regina Capital said. The broker added now would be as good a time as any to start positioning in tranches. The shares of BDO Unibank Incorporated closed last week at 105 pesos apiece. Meanwhile, the broker advised to hold on to the stock of Ayala Corporation. The broker said that since the April breakout to 790 pesos, Ayala Corporation formed a descending triangle that is poised to reverse into a rally in the coming days. Regina Capital said all indicators are now neutral. Momentum is flat and volatility is low. The broker said that this consolidation stage primes the base of Ayala Corporation before a possible run-up. This is, of course, barring any major market-moving events that could shake the whole index as a whole, according to the broker. Furthermore, for this analysis to hold, Ayala Corporation needs to stay above the 740 peso support. So far this month, it has managed to do this, the broker said. The shares of Ayala Corporation closed last week at 754 pesos and 50 centavos. And now for the weekly weather outlook via the website of the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA. PAGASA issued a weather outlook for the week at 12 noon of April 23, valid until 12 noon of Friday, April 30, 2021. Notably, PAGASA said last Sunday that the center of the extratropical cyclone, formerly Bising, was estimated at 1,500 kilometers east of the extreme northern Luzon. PAGASA said Bising left the Philippine area of responsibility at 5:40 a.m. of April 25. PAGASA said that by Monday, April 26 until Friday, April 30, easterlies will be the dominant weather system. This would bring generally fair and warm humid weather condition over Metro Manila and the rest of the country, except for isolated rain showers or thunderstorm, mostly in the afternoon or evening.
Thank you for listening to the Business Mirror podcast. For a broader look on business, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Business Mirror. Until next time.